I guess it was inevitable. Bailey Falter mania, and I guess he's not running for president anymore, or I guess we're not going to vote for him. Not a good night for Bailey Falter as he falters, and the Phillies lose 6-3 to the Atlanta Braves. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Phightins final here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy Matty B flying solo tonight. Back from a whirlwind day. I've covered a lot of miles today, folks, and I wasn't even supposed to be here, but I was able to get back into town by 9:30 or so, by whatever time this is, 9:25, and so I could bring you the Fightins final because I'm dedicated and that's how I roll. And watching the game all day. I was driving, so I was watching the game while I was driving, and it was a definitely a playoff atmosphere down there at the bank. It felt like the playoffs. It definitely felt like the playoffs outside where I was, and just not really having it today for the Phillies. Bailey Falter, as I mentioned, only lasted 3.5 innings tonight and got kind of rocked around a little bit. He did 10 hits. That's not good. And when you have a pitching effort like that, you're not going to beat a team like the Atlanta Braves. And that's what happened tonight. And the 3-game winning streak is no more. And the Phillies fall back down to a tie with the San Diego Padres, of course, who are playing as we speak right now in Denver against the Colorado Rockies. So we could find ourselves on the outside looking in on that second playoff spot by the end of tonight, or maybe we not. Who knows? But listen, if you were telling me heading into the third game of this series that we were, the worst we could do is a split, like me and Al have been saying the last couple of nights, I think people would be pretty comfortable with that, and that's where we find ourselves right now. We find ourselves in that position where the worst we can walk out of this series is the split, and with our magic number being at 9, and that's what it is right now, and it probably will stay there tonight. You got to be pretty comfortable and pretty happy about that, and I am. I really am. I think this team has showed a lot of character over the last few nights, and I think they showed some character today. They got down, but they tried to battle back. And let's face it, they missed a 3-run game-tying home run shot by Reese Hoskins by about 3 feet. So, I got to give the Phillies some credit tonight. They showed a little bit of spunk. Sean hits me up with, "What's up, Matty B? I need you to get a good night for tomorrow's." So, Sean, I'm not going to the game. I won't be there. No, I won't be down to DC. I was supposed to go, but I had to bail out at the last minute because I had to go out of town to handle some family business. Now, I thought that was going to take me through till tomorrow until I can get back here in town, but I was able to kind of finish it up today. But I am not going to the DC. I was, but now I'm not, and obviously I'm not going to make an 11th hour switch to try to get back in. But I'll get on the next one, I promise. But I'll be back here in town, holding up the burning the fires of the fort, so to speak, as you guys are the ones who are going out there for the game. I know it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a rocking time, and I wish I could be there. I promise the next one I will definitely be there for. Scott hits me up with, "Falter has been doing pretty good for the Phillies lately. Who saw that coming?" I mean, come on. Falter's been playing with house money since he got here, and everything he's done on the positive side has been great, not short of great. But there's been some talk this week about potentially putting Bailey Falter into your starting rotation for the playoffs. I'm not really ready for that. I think Bailey Falter will be a very good complement piece coming out of that bullpen if we need him those middle innings. If that's the case in the playoffs. He's a young kid. I'm not saying he doesn't have the stuff to be that, but right now, I just would feel comfortable with what we already have in our veteran pitchers. So yeah, Bailey Falter did not pitch well tonight, but he's pitched really good up to this point. And how can you be mad about that? Because we didn't see Bailey Falter coming, not even a little bit. So anytime he gives you anything positive, it's positive. So I'm not going to rag on Bailey Falter tonight. Nah, it's okay, Sean. Big Al and EOP worked with me heavily to try to get me on, and I was going to go. As I said, something came up this week. I thought I was going to be gone through tomorrow, but I was able to wrap it up today and then get back into town tonight. So, but that's okay. Life comes at me pretty fast at times, and you just got to kind of deal with it. How do I feel about Eflin coming out of the bullpen? Scott, I don't know if you heard this, but the other night I was talking with Big Al about that. He was on the show the last couple of nights with me, and I think it's nice now, obviously, but I don't think that that's what this long term plan is for Zach Eflin to be pitching out the bullpen. And what I mean by long term, I'm talking the playoffs. I would not be surprised to potentially see Zach Eflin get a start here coming up soon too, with the potential of maybe getting him back into that rotation, so to speak. I don't see a reason why not to do that. The Phillies cannot be potentially thinking Zach Eflin out of the bullpen in the playoffs. If he's healthy enough to pitch out of the pen, he's healthy enough to start. So to think that he's, that's the new option here, I wasn't buying that. I think they got him back in there just to kind of work off some rust, and they didn't want to necessarily upset the apple cart with the way the rotation was throwing. So, I don't know. I'm not buying the whole Zach Eflin coming out of the pen for the playoffs. Not even a minute. But would I be surprised though if they did it? No, of course not. But I don't think so. Do I see Thor staying in the bullpen? Scott, that's probably one of the biggest questions that I think a lot of Phillies fans have, and I know I do. We went out in the trade deadline, and everyone's going to say, "What are you complaining about? We didn't really give up much for him." We gave up a first-round overall draft pick for him. Granted, that player never worked out, but still, we pulled in a guy that's got World Series pitching experience. We pulled in a guy that's got postseason pitching experience, and basically up to this point, no one wants to talk about it. He's been a bust. He's not really been that good. He's been meh. Ranger Suarez has pitched better than him during the stretch of time that he's been here. And now he's been relegated to the bullpen to be the second half to Zach Wheeler. And basically, do I see that? I see that continuing on. Yes. I don't think he comes back. I don't think he's a starting pitcher for the rest of his time here, to include the playoffs. I think that he'll be linked to Wheeler until the season's over with. And I don't see a reason not to do that. He's not pitched well. He's pitched meh. And as I said, Suarez has pitched better than he has in his time here. So no, I am definitely okay with keeping him in the bullpen. Yes. Sean again. Castellanos is expected to be back in right field for the Phillies sometime during the team's 3-game series against Chicago, which begins Tuesday night at Wrigley. Yes, he is, and I know they were kind of toying with the idea of sending him down to Lehigh for a game or two. I don't know if that's still happening. I know Lehigh is actually going to be in Syracuse this coming week, so I'm not really certain if he's down there now or if he's planning on going down the AAA for a rehab stint or not. I wouldn't see why you wouldn't send him down for about 3 or 4 games. It's not like he was setting the friggin' world on fire while I was here. We have time here. I think we just want to make sure he's ready for the playoffs at this point, right? So, yeah. It's good news, though. Good news on all fronts when all your players are getting healthy. Absolutely. Let's go to the line, folks, because we got to talk about this game a little bit more. The Braves would finish with 6 runs, and they would do it on 14 hits. Now, that's not good. They also committed 2 errors. The Phillies, 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. But it didn't seem like that, right? To me, it just seemed like the team was battling more, but the Braves just got on base a lot more. How the scoring went down here in this game, top of the second. Vaughn Grissom would get things going and knock in Travis Dearmond and making it 1-0 Braves in the second. Then Contreras in the third would homer to deep center or deep right to make it 2-0 Braves. Michael Havers would then follow that home run up in the third with his own in the fourth to make it 4-0. It was a 2-run shot. And then also in the fourth, Dansby Swanson would knock in Vaughn Grissom to make it 5-0 Braves. And they weren't done because in the fourth as well, William Contreras would single in Arcata to make it 6-0. And then Bryce Harper would get the Phillies on the board with a 2-run shot in the 6th inning, making it 6-2. Nick Maytime would sac fly in Brandon Marsh in the 7th to make it 6-3. And with all that lopsided hitting, as I mentioned, the Phillies came within about a 3-foot difference, a 3-foot foul ball to tying the game on a Rhys Hoskins jack late in the game, but wasn't that meant to be. Offensively, individual numbers, Kyle Schwarber over 3. And we're just moving on from there with 1 strikeout. He did have a walk, too. Rhys Hoskins 1 for 4 with a run. Bryce Harper 1 for 3, run, 2 RBIs in that home run, which obviously everybody was very happy to see. I'm sure to include Mr. Harper himself. JT Realmuto 0 for 4, Alec Bohm 0 for 4, Brandon Marsh 0 for 4 with a run and a walk. Gene Segura 1 for 3, Bryce Stott 0 for 4, Nick Maytime 0 for 2. There was a lot of 0 fors tonight, but when you only have 3 hits, what do you expect? Dansby Swanson for the Braves was 2 for 5 with an RBI. Contreras 3 for 4 with a run and 2 RBIs and a homer. Travis Drummond 2 for 5 with a run. Um, Michael Harris 3 for 4 with a run, 2 RBIs in that homer. Vaughn Grissom 2 for 4 with an RBI. And that's kind of goes on and on like that. Pitching wise, mentioned already, Bailey Falter, just not effective today. 3.5 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs. They were all earned. He did strike out 6, though, but he gave up those 2 home runs, no walks. Bellotti, Brogdon, Dominguez, Robertson, and Zach Eflin would come on and pitch really well in his time out there, the 1 inning he pitched. Falter gets the loss. He is now 5-4. On the Brave side of things, Kyle Wright is now 20-5 on the season. He went 5 1/3, 2 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. But did not to me did not seem that dominant. I know the line says he was, but to me he wasn't that dominant. He wasn't. But he's the first 20-game winner the Braves have had since 2003. So congratulations. A definite rare feat in Major League Baseball today to win 20 games. McHugh, Iglesias, Minter gets the hold, and Kenley Jansen, geez, will get to save his 37th, and that's how you have Phillies down and losing 6-3 at the hands of the Atlanta Braves tonight. And it is what it is, right? I'm strangely very calm tonight about this. It's the same MO, yes. It's the same usual suspects not producing. Kyle Ofer Schwarber not producing. Then you got Reese, who's been kind of lifting himself out of that slump over the last couple of nights. That's a great sign to see. JT slipping a little bit. It's almost like a revolving carousel. You go from one side to the next with these guys. They get hot and they get cold. They get hot and they get cold. Except, of course, Kyle Schwarber's just been spinning around in circles all season. Obviously, seeing Bryce hit that home run tonight, huge for him to get his confidence going. So hopefully that leads to bigger and better things. Scottsy's mad because Thor has been ducking his old team. The Mets, like you said, brother Matty, he was brought in for a reason, and you said we gave up a first rounder. Yeah, he was. I thought he was brought here to help us in the playoffs or help us get to the playoffs, and then once there, perform and contribute to this team in the playoffs. And right now, it's looking like he's going to be coming out of the bullpen. And then again, Scott, one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the season is why does he not pitch against the Mets? I still want an answer for that, and I'm not going to let that go. I'm going to get one. I am going to get an answer for that. So you're right, Scott. It's very meh. Castellanos is after 3 weeks of rare oblique injury, will not go on the minor. Okay, so he's not going on a minor league assignment. Wow, that's interesting. Maybe they're just going to. I don't know about that. Why not? Why wouldn't you? What's the rush? As I said, he wasn't setting the world on fire when he was here. We've lived this long without him. I think we could live a few more days without him. I don't agree with that at all. I don't. A lot of Phillies 0-4, not good. No, it's not. It's not good at all, Scott. Not good at all. Scott says he thinks maybe it's him, but Harper doesn't seem like himself lately. Me and Big Al spoke about that again too. Is Bryce Harper more hurt than he's telling anybody or letting on? Is Bryce Harper battling through? Is that finger still bothering him? Obviously, the UCL is probably bothering him, but is that finger still bothering him? Is he not fully rehabilitated? Is he back here too soon? Is he just that damn devoted to the team and getting to the playoffs that he's potentially putting himself at risk? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. He is that kind of guy or that kind of player. So I agree. Something's not right with Harper. It's not. And don't tell me it's rust. He's the reigning. I mean, he's a two-time MVP. I mean, come on. Does it take him this long to get going? I mean, he's been back for a month now. You would think that he'd be coming out of it, and maybe that's what he is. Maybe he's coming out of it now. So hopefully things are getting better. Speaking of things not getting better, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, shall we, folks? Because we're down to just centering on two teams. That's, of course, the Milwaukee Brewers and the San Diego Padres. So currently, right now, both teams are in action as we speak around Major League Baseball. Heading into the bottom of the 10th right now, Milwaukee is putting it to the Reds in Cincinnati, 10-2, looking like they're going to go on with the victory. Out there in Colorado, the Padres are beating the Rockies 3-1 in the top of the 5th. So not good news along the wild card front for the Phillies. This is potentially going to lose some ground tonight to both of these teams. Phillies magic number remains at 9 as they try to head into tomorrow's uh, rubber game, breakout game against the Braves. Um, Charlie Morton will bring his 9.6, 4.09 ERA, and Kyle Gibson his 10-7, 4.71 ERA to bear. First pitch is at 105 at the bank. I guarantee there's probably a lot of good seats for that, seeing how the Eagles are playing just a few, 50, 60 miles to the south of there. A lot of people are going to be flocking down to Maryland. So head on out to the ballpark. Go to Fan Appreciation Day. Enjoy that because I know I might. Let's just say it. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. So 6-3. Phillies will go attempt to split the series tomorrow. Charlie Morton, Kyle Gibson. Hopefully, we get the upside of Kyle Gibson because we got the downside last time, and that's how it usually is. He'll give us the good one tomorrow. And then the Phillies will head out to Chicago and to Washington and then finish things up in Houston as they go out on an unprecedented 10-game road trip to finish the season. The Phillies will not, if they do clinch, it'll be on the road. Obviously, the fans tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying that this is the last time you're going to get a chance to see the Phillies at Citizen Bank Park in 2022. I'm not saying that, but it is definitely the last chance you'll definitely see the Phillies in Citizen Bank Park in 2022. As I said the other night, kind of sad that the red pinstripes are now a question mark that we'll see them again this year. So hopefully we do. But honestly, get down to the bank. You know, Fan Appreciation Day is always a great day, and just enjoy yourselves. You know, it's been a hell of a year, and it's not over yet. But tomorrow, the regular season home portion will come to an end as the Phillies will finish up their final 10 games, and then the next 3 games after that will also be on the road as they will probably against a wild card team, the Mets or the Cardinals. So go ahead down there and check out the Phillies and just give some appreciation back, man. It's been a great year. It has. It really has. Off topic, I may congratulate Albert Pujols from the Cardinals. I've always respected him. Yeah, and again, me and Al were talking about this last night. Scott, actually, I want to put this out to those who might not have been tuning in last night. With Pujols hitting 700 and potentially a couple more before the season might end. He might even hit 3 more. It might be 703, 704 when the season ends. Now, he's going to retire, right? But I don't know if he's done any paperwork yet. But does he come back next year and push Bonds? Does he come back and go for the all-time record? I mean, what's he, 720, what is it, 724? Something like that? Does he go? I say why not? And if Major League Baseball has got any kind of self-respect left, they will talk to Albert Pujols in the offseason and get him off that fence and make him, or not make him, but really push him to coming back and trying to take Bonds' record over. Because Major League Baseball desperately needs a good news story, desperately needs something to make it better, you know. And in a home run watch for Albert Pujols, who Scott mentions is a class guy, has been a class guy his entire career, would definitely help repair a lot of damage that's been done to MLB over the few years. And I, for one, would love to watch that next year. Albert Pujols go for the all-time record. Would love it. So, Albert Pujols, if you're listening to the sound of my voice tonight, please come back for one more year. Push Bonds, take his record, and let's give baseball an opportunity to recover a little bit as we move forward. And then Scott also chiming in about the Aaron Judge thing. You know, again, Judge is nowhere near. He's not going to win the single season home run record. He's not going to catch Bonds, but he will catch Maris and he will catch the AL record. That's definite. That's good news stories that baseball desperately needs. They desperately need it. They got to start repairing their image. And yeah, 98 was coming off of a strike. And then he had Bonds, or he had McGuire, he had Sosa, then he had Bonds, but then he had that steroid crap, and it really tainted all of it. And we need it, man. We need it. We need it. So we need it. Phillies appear to be in the mix for each of the elite free agents hitting markets. The odds below assume the player and choose the question. Yeah. I know Trey Turner is definitely in play, Sean. I saw that. I hope they do. Muffler Mike is. So that's a great question too. You're right. So seventh straight was 762. Did I say 724? No one counts Barry Bonds. So 762. I mean, does he hit 62 home runs in 1 year? Probably not. Can he do it in 2 years? Probably. I mean, again, I would love it. I'd love to see it. But are we counting Bonds? That's the question. Is Major League Baseball counting Bonds? Is there an asterisk next to his name? Are they counting Bonds? Isn't so? Hank Aaron's old is 714, right? Is that what Hank Aaron's record is? 714, I believe. So, what record are we chasing here? That's a good point. Good point, Mike. I appreciate that. With the likes of Judge, Turner, Van DeGrom, etc. Yeah, Trey Turner, take it to the bank, baby. Take it to the bank. Trey Turner's a Philly. Take it to the bank. He's going to be leading off next year. He better be. Both guys doing the right way. No steroids. Baseball needs this. Baseball needs it bad. Sean says team's front office showed it was willing to eclipse the luxury tax for the first time and had a chance of adding Kyle Schwarber and Castellanos back in the spring. Surely they are looking to build a team that can make the most of the JT into his prime. Yeah, they listen. If there's not a serious push for Trey Turner next year, this team is blind because if Kyle Schwarber is your leadoff option in 2023, that's horrid. There's no way that we can live with that. Gene Segura's got a $14 million, I believe, club option next season. Probably not going to be exercised, as that money will probably be used to attempt to get Trey Turner. We need another starter. We need a 4. Kyle Gibson will be a free agent. Syndergaard will be a free agent. Do you bring one of them two back? I don't know. We solved our center fielder problem for the foreseeable future. It might not be what we all wanted, but Brandon Marsh is serviceable. We have some people coming up through the system that might be able to help us out in the next couple of years, but we solved that problem for the most part. We always need some help in the bullpen, but that's it, really. If you look at it, we pretty much got it. And then what do you do at Rhys Hoskins as well? That's going to be another question that has to be answered this offseason. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with that. We still got some baseball to play this year. But I would definitely be surprised if Trey Turner was not a Philly next year. Hoping Judge gets 61 by game 154. Mainly so Yankee fans fucking shut up for that's three. Also, I don't want to be. I'm tired of looking at the cut-ins for that crap. Really am. Bonds is 762. Yep. Oh, so okay. Aaron is 7. I knew somebody was 714. So it's Ruth. So Aaron's 755. So does Pujols have 55 home runs in him in 1 year? Does he have 62 home runs in him 1 year? He may not, but he's too damn close. I mean, I know if it was me, I'd come back. 2 years, 2 seasons. It's all it's going to take. Maybe a good 1 season, and you'll be actually motivated. Come on, man, come back and do it. No way. We got to move. We got to move him down, like we said last week. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Schwarber, I agree. He cannot be your leadoff hitter heading forward, and then move Hoskins definitely. Question's going to be for what? What are we going to get for Rhys Hoskins? What are we going to get? Brother Manny, as usual, good chiming in with you, heading to bed, working OT at the hockey arena. Hollydale Beach tournaments tomorrow. Scott, have a good one. We'll definitely talk again. Always a pleasure for you to participate as well. Thank you very much. Folks, I'm going to take a cue from Scott. I'm a little tired too. So I will be back tomorrow, though. Don't worry. We'll come back and we will talk some, actually, a big date on this. Let's do that while we have on here. So here you go. Tomorrow, or you got me tonight. Tomorrow, that Devereaux Sports thing is not tomorrow. That was actually today at noon. They had to do some shifting around because of that trip to DC. So there's really nothing in the morning. But then you got Eagles Commanders pregame, Eagles Commanders halftime, Eagles Commanders postgame, all starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow here on the network. Various people will be jumping in with Freddie Burns and Chris Dives from the Painted Lines throughout the day. You may even see yours truly on one of them shows at some point. And then we got the Phightins final tomorrow afternoon as well, Phillies Braves. And then all across all the time, lacrosse, Philly, and beyond tomorrow night. Busy day on the network as usual lately, as we got Phillies, we got Commanders, and we got a large majority of the EOP talent pool heading on a bus to Landover, Maryland, all together. So somebody wanted to take them out. If somebody wanted to take out EOP, they would basically be able to take out a bus and leave us, the rest of us, all scattered in the wind. Hey, Walter, man, what's up? Go Phils. Yeah, it was a rough one tonight. But so that's what's coming up over the next 24 hours here on the network. Don't forget Dolan's Bar, the only bar in Delco, the most Delco bar in Delco. Go to Dolan's in Delco. I'm going to say the word Delco 20 times in 10 minutes, or just that many times. Don't forget August 2nd, not tomorrow, but next Sunday at the South House on 13th Street down there in South Center Philadelphia area. They say it's South Philly. I don't know. I kind of look at it more like Center City. It's not Center City, but to me, it's not South Philly either. It's kind of in between no man's land. October 2nd, Phillies and Jags. That's where we're going to be doing our live pre-halftime and post-game shows. Make sure you come on down, spend the day with us. Again, yours truly might be in attendance. I'm not sure. And Philly Sports Trip tomorrow. One of them is getting ready to go down that 9/25/22 trip to Washington. If you want to go wish the guys farewell, I think the bus is leaving like around 6 o'clock in the morning from the Jethro parking lot down there at the link. Go down and say hi to them. I'm sure they'll love it. And don't forget the tailgate, Philly Sports Trips tailgates or before every home game at the Gatehouse, aka the Navy Yard. So head over to Philly Sports Trips and definitely check out what they got. And they're going to Chicago on Monday, for the Phillies. And of course, this man might be the busiest man in Delco come Monday morning, as Dave Cherry, a workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal law, or personal injury and criminal law, 610-565-0300. Give him a call and tell him that you were on the trip to DC. And tell him that the boys at EOP or Matty B sent you, and they'll take good care of you. And don't forget this thing right here. This is me, the original the original Talking Philly Sports with Matty B. The podcast. Still doing them about 3 a week. Just dropped one today. Just dropped one today, actually. This morning before I left. And it was recorded yesterday, I believe. And then Friday, we dropped it this morning. It was really busy. Go ahead and check it out. It's available wherever you find all of your podcasts. So, folks, that is going to do it for me. Thank you again for chiming in. Always a pleasure to talk it up with you. Phillies 6-3 losers tonight at the hand of the Braves tomorrow at 105. Kyle Gibson will get things hopefully back on the winning columns for the Phightins. Till we talk again, go Phils.